Welcome to Deep Bloop Incorporated. In this video, we are going to talk about the Advanced Signer. The way to invoke the Advanced Signer is go to this main menu and click the third option, in which case a window similar to a basic signer shows. Apparently it looks pretty much the same as the basic signer, but in reality it has got several features that are way more powerful than the basic signer is. For example, the Save As template. What it does, it allows you to save a signature process as a template for one time and be able to use that template for repeated use in future. One scenario where you can use this is in signing a very large document by more than one person at the same time, and each person requiring to sign at many places. It may quite get tiring to allow your customers to do that repeatedly. Instead, if you can save it as a template and be able to use it for this document, it becomes a pretty usable process. I'll explain that. Other than that, the collapsible window on expansion shows much more tools and much more boxes than it was in the basic signer. As again, the process is explained with text hints saying the step 1 starts right from here, followed by step 2, step 3, and then step 4 of course is optional, just like it was in basic signer. One other difference with basic signer is that in basic and quick signer we allowed you to define an input folder, but in this case there is no input folder. We have to actually drag and drop a document here in order to initiate the signing process. We, however, have an output folder to save all our documents during and after the signing process is completed. And once defined, all our signed documents will be saved there, and we can select one already signed document for later use, such as be able to send as an email later in case where there was no internet connectivity at the time when the signatures were obtained. Now let's jump into the working of this tool. Let's drag and drop a document of PDF type here. Load the document. The document as was in basic signer and quick signer gets shown in the signing surface. Before you start the signature process, we first have to define who are going to be the users or who are going to be the customers who will be signing on this document. Let's say his name is PS at yahoo.com, and on tabbing out of the first box we get to the next box automatically, and we just say name is SA and we say create signature, and we can create another person here. Let's call his name as Dat, and his name is say Dave, and now we create another person here. Now you can see those signatures were those signers were created, and this indicates those signers are already identified by the system. Now in order for us to start the signing process in Advanced Signer, we must predefine the signatures and initial of each signer first. The way to do this, as this tooltip says, we must first select a signer from here. Let's select this one and then do his signature, save the signature, do his initials, and save the initial. Next we go to the other person and do his signature, do his initial. Let's, for fun's sake, add one more person to the mix. So his name is say his at har.com, and let's say his name is his har, and create char signer. Now the third person is also one among our signatories. Now we want to set up his signature. In order to do that, sometime we have to reselect it again. To do this, we can actually drag and drop an existing signature image for this person if we have one, by simply selecting that from your desktop and dragging it here. Now that signature is being saved as a signature of this person called his at har.com. And similarly we can do initials here and save it that way for this person. Now we are ready to do the signature process. Again, we could have cleared our signature if you didn't like one, or we can delete it even at this stage and redo the whole thing. You can delete the signature as well from here and redo the whole thing for this user. Now let's define an output location where we would like to save our signed documents. Let's call it basic signer output. Now the moment we selected that, the system automatically identified that there is a template available for at this output location that you have previously saved. And in this case you can simply apply the template and all the signature will be stamped at the right place according to the template. But that's a topic for another video, as it is quite involved to explain here. For the moment, let's assume that we don't want to use the template. We want to do the signature ourselves. And in this drop down, you can see there are plenty of other files. Each of them are actually uniquely defined with name of the file being the same and suffix with the date and timestamp in order to differentiate between each instance of the document in case we are dropping the same document over and over again. So if we drop another instance of deeptaster.pdf and sign it, it'll show up as a deep taster and a timestamp and .pdf and an output and .pdf. The entire complete file name can be seen on hovering your mouse over each of them, and you see a tooltip explaining, showing you the full file name. Usually the file name starts with the name of the file, the timestamp of the signature instant, and then underscore output.pdf. So having done that, now we are ready to do the signing process. And if we did not provide a to email, meaning if we did not provide anyone as being the recipient of this document, the system will not send an email. But if we have someone's name in here, let's, for example, Deep Bloop Taster at gmail.com, then we would will invoke during the submit process actual sending of an email with this signed document attached. Optionally we can keep it blank and nothing will get sent out. We can actually come back later and select the send mail option to select the document from the signed list and then send it using the send mail. I'll explain that with an example subsequent to this. Let's first do the signature process for these three persons on this one document. We select this person first and we select the signature option and double click it, his signature is stamped here. Then we click for the same person, his initials, and his initials are stamped here. Now we take the other person, and now we click signature and double click on here. The signature of that person gets stamped here, and similarly on selecting initial option, his initials get up. Let's take the third one, and we do the same thing. Now this document is ready for submit. Now when you click submit, the system will stamp all the signatures and the initials at the right place with the current date and time and the email address of the signer, so on and so forth. Had we chosen to send email and put a name of a person or email address of a person here with CC and a message and a subject, this should have gone as an attachment to those recipients. Alternately, we can come back later and identify the document from here, and then we can send an email using that. But it's saying that you didn't have a sender email or subject, so it's asking us to put those things and then send again. This is so much about the Advanced Signer. The other feature of this Advanced Signer is the Save As template. In order for us to repeatedly use this document for future signature, we can use the template option, and I'll explain that in another separate video. Thank you.